one of the members of your team, I got the information that there's like a 40-knot mistral offshore and a westerly inshore and a lot of everything else in the middle. I just wonder how that stacks up with your idea that there could have been racing today, if that's true. Did you have different information, or is that what you understood?
I think we could have gone at 10. I think there was time to do that. But once again, I'm certainly not second guessing Harold's decision. He made a decision. It's a tough job, and like I said, I'm happy for him to be the guy there that's making it.
Jimmy, hi, again. What's the forecast for Friday? What's your forecast? Are we going to get your race in then? And if not, then when?
Yeah, good question. Friday looks good now. It's typically pretty tough to predict more than, I would say, 24 hours in Valencia, and I think if you spoke to either meteorologists, they agree with that. But at the moment, Friday looks good. But yeah, we're just going to have to wait till we get closer because it can change very, very quickly.
So, Ron Young, latitude 38 engine. Since you've added 33 feet to the wing, and it's now 223, would you imagine that, of course, the crossover point between the two boats has gotten lower? And if so, what do you think the new crossover point is in wind speed?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, obviously we've we started gearing the boat up to more, lifting its performance in the lighter air. The wing was always planned to have the top extension there. It not only powers the boat up more, but it just it's much more efficient with the induced drag. As for the crossover, who knows? I mean, we really don't know. I mean, I know what our boat weighs, but I don't know what their boat weighs. We've got a bit of an idea from watching them. But it's one of those things that I think makes it so exciting that until we really line up, and see, the two boats going, it's just a guess.
8 or 9-ish, 10-ish in there someplace?
You just have to wait and see.
Jimmy, is the groove for the sweet spot bigger or smaller in the wing than a soft sail?
I would say bigger because you can take it through the range quite well. And the reason you can take it through the range, with a soft sail, it's very, very difficult to, you can design it for the lighter air, make it more powerful, but then as you start to get over range, it's very, very difficult to get rid of that shape that's in the sail. Twist it the right way. The battens you've got in the sail, they're there for the day, But with the wing, you can really, you can adjust the camber, we can adjust the twist. So it's certainly, in each range, whether it's light air, mid-range, or the heavy air, you can, make it the perfect shape, And obviously there's a point as you get to the upper end that you'd say, well, ideally you'd have a smaller wing, less area. But it's still, because it's so efficient and it doesn't flap, it's still not that bad.
Jimmy, you think Linky is better prepared because they told us yesterday evening there will be no race today.
Yeah, well, I can't comment on a leggy, but like I said, we're ready to go. If we want to race, we'll just have to wait and see.
Jimmy, again, I spoke to a fighter pilot today who asked me to ask you why there's no tip on the top of the wing to stop the vortices.
It's funny. Like since we've got the wing here, we've had a lot of people from the aero industry and sort of saying, oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And we did think about doing a lot of things, but back when we had to make the decision, it was a big call. This is a 68-metre wing. And no one's built anything of this size. So we tended to view it, let's try and keep it simple. There's a lot of stuff we wanted to try, maybe another element, different controls, etc. Obviously trying to make it as light as we could. But at the end of the day, I think we got a pretty good compromise. I think it was a big enough call just to say we're going to do it and then to sail with it, logistically take it around the world. But yeah, for sure, there are a lot of things. If we did it again, no question, we'd probably change some stuff, but I still, I'm really impressed with the designers and the engineers, the boat builders, of what they've done with this one. I mean, it's just you guys have seen it all, it's just an awesome tool.
How was it on the mooring last night?
Wasn't too bad in my apartment, let me tell you. But I mean, that's a big part of this program. Is we've got Magnus Clark, who sails with Fred Eden, are the current C-class championship trophy holders. And we've done some sailing with Fred and Magnus over in Canada in the C-class when we knew we were going, the route of the wing. And pretty soon on, once we were discussing, we thought we probably can't lower that thing every time. We really want to try and leave it up. And then we came with the idea, well, look, we may as well try and get some of those guys involved to help us out at night. I mean, if we're sailing it all day, we obviously can't be there all night. So Magnus has been fantastic. He basically, during the day on the water, obviously I'm the skipper of the boat. As soon as we come back to the dock, Magnus takes over with his crew. And it's the same shore crew he has in Toronto, Canada. And they're just a vital part because, there can be some long nights for them. And with these wings, even in the small boats, it seems like most of the damage occurs when you put them up and down. When you actually go sailing, it's usually the easy part, but you'll even see with the C-class, it's quite a lot of effort. You've got lifting tripods and, you've got to watch the boat. And when people ask me about it, I say, it's just like, I've got a 2-year-old boy, and I say, it's exactly the same. You just can't take your eye off a little bugger for a minute, because, it's just like that. You've really got to keep an eye on them.
And last night, how was it?
My 2-year-old or the wing? No, it was fine. I mean, Magnus is an engineer by trade, so he's a pretty smart guy, and their whole safeties, the way they've rigged up the mooring systems there, we've got chase boat drivers, we have spare crew there ready to go. So he's got it set up pretty nicely, so everything's safe, and he can get through some tough conditions if he has to.
James, how much did you have to adjust your steering technique from the soft sails to the wing rig?
It was interesting because with the wing, there's less load, you can get that power source quicker. With the soft sails, that last bit of trim, because you're pulling sort of more fore and aft and trying to pull that leach down, that last bit of trim just takes longer and longer, and the lines stretch. But with the, we call it shooting the barn door on, when it's in and out, it's actually relatively low loads. So because of that, you trim more and you steer less. And that's, if you speak like our coach, Glenn Ashby, that's what he's been on to me about from day one, is we need to get aggressive with the trimming and steer less. And that's, Glenn's the king of the multi-hulls, and that's the trick to sailing them.
At the end, do you think it's a kind of injustice or a deception not to sell it today for a share?
I think it was a shame because I think this morning we probably could have got the boats going. But it's, as I said, it's just so easy for me to sit here and say that. Harold's the guy that's got to make the decision, and I know he's trying to create the best possible race course he can for us. And I think fair enough. It's only 2 or 3 races, so it's like I said, we probably could have gone at 10 o'clock. We didn't. Look, it's Harold's call, and I'm fine with that. Oh, for sure, I would have loved to have gone out there, gone sailing. I love sailing this boat, and it's that's the coolest thing about this boat is that it's a boat that you look forward to sailing every day. You go home and that's all you're thinking about is getting back out in the thing and sending it around the track. But having said that, I want to race in good conditions, and certainly later on this afternoon, I don't think Harold could have set a track later today because it was, obviously pretty shifty.
One last question. Kate? Hold for the mic, please.
You seem quite philosophical about Harold's decision. What was Larry Ellison's reaction when he was told?
Well, I haven't spoke to Larry today, so I just can't answer that.
Okay, well, we're going to let